It seems to me that a lot of people don't like it when a classic is replaced with something new, and I know this because I lived through the new Coke fiasco. But if you give something a chance, like Crystal Pepsi, you might find it has a value of its own, even if it's not superior to the original, like Mr. Pibb. I must be thirsty. With John Walker and Battlestar, we got attempted replacements that grew into interesting characters of their own. How so? Let's find out. It may be difficult to imagine now, but there was a time when Marvel was struggling financially. And some titles that seem like mainstays today had disappointing sales. Captain America was one of those titles, and in the mid-'80s a writer thought just the thing to get that title out of a commercial rut was to shake things up. And Marvel knew from experience that nothing shakes things up like replacing a longtime character with someone new. Thus, Johnny Walker and Battlestar entered the conversation. Here are the facts. Johnny Walker, also known as Super Patriot, also known as US Agent, also known as Fake Captain America, and Lamar Hoskins, aka Fake Bucky, aka Battlestar. Both created by writer Mark Gruenwald and artist Paul Neary, and both first appeared in Captain America number 323 in November 1986. Both characters are given superhuman strength, agility, reflexes, reactions, and endurance by the Power Broker. Their speed, dexterity, coordination, and balance are of the order of a superstar Olympic athlete, though not quite superhuman. And Battlestar's highly trained in gymnastics and acrobatics. Picture it, America, 1985. Mark Gruenwald said many fans wanted him to Rambo-ize Cap. But Gruenwald considered this a violation of the character's principles, so decided he would give the fans what they wanted, but that it couldn't be Steve Rogers. As written in the book, Comic Interviews, Gruenwald said he wanted to create a character, quote, who embodied patriotism in a way that Captain America didn't, a patriotic villain. He said, basically, I just wanted to do the opposite of Steve Rogers. Okay, Steve Rogers is a poor northern urban boy, so I'll make it a guy from rural middle-class South. Cap is now old, so this guy will be a real young up-and-comer. Cap has lofty ideals, so I'll make Super Patriot be more realistic and more pragmatic. So I put together this background and character traits by playing the opposite game. He also said that the motivating reason for replacing Steve Rogers as Captain America was to boost sales. At the time, Marvel had already had success by replacing Tony Stark with Rhodey as Iron Man and replacing Thor with Beta Ray Bill. That's Beta Ray Bill if you're Marty. Here's Walker and Hoskins' story. John Walker was born in the fictional town of Custer's Grove, Georgia. He grew up idolizing his older brother Mike, who was a helicopter pilot who died in the Vietnam War in 1974. John wanted to live up to Mike's memory, who was idolized by his parents, and so he later enlisted in the military. John served at Fort Bragg, but unfortunately for John, he served during peacetime, so he never became the hero that he perceived his brother Mike to have been. It's kind of weird when someone considers peacetime unfortunate, isn't it? A moving revelation occurred about Johnny's brother. It was revealed Mike suffered from PTSD and took his own life, but his parents told his younger siblings he died at war. After John received an honorable discharge from the United States Army, he was told by a friend about the Power Broker, a mysterious individual who gave people superhuman abilities. Lamar Hoskins was also a former soldier in the US military. Lamar and his friend John Walker subjected themselves to the Power Broker process in order to get superpowers, primarily strength. John Walker's first idea to capitalize on his new powers was to compete in the Unlimited Class Wrestling Federation. This story was written around the time of maybe WrestleMania 3, and wrestling was body slamming its way into the mainstream around this time. UCWF was a wrestling company founded by a promoter named Edward Garner. He did this after a wrestler he managed was banned from several existing professional wrestling organizations because he possessed superhuman strength. But Walker's agent, a guy named Ethan Thurm, convinced Johnny it was a better gig to become a superhero. I can't argue with that. Walker became the super patriot, arguing that he stood for America's true ideals and began to publicly discredit Captain America. I don't see how that could possibly backfire. 3 bold urban commandos, fellow recruits from the Wrestling Federation, assisted him by staging attacks and intimidating others. The bold urban commandos were also referred to as Buckies, and among them was Lamar Hoskins, the man who would later become known as Battlestar. This trio staged attacks on Super Patriot during his rallies to build support for his brand. I guess they were taking wrestling kayfabe to heart, cause that sounds like a wrestling storyline to me. After a fight with Captain America at a rally in Central Park, Walker killed a terrorist named Warhead who threatened to detonate a nuclear weapon in Washington, D.C. In Captain America number 332, Steve Rogers abandoned the Captain America identity due to Red Skull's manipulation of the Commission on Superhuman Activities. Walker took the role as Captain America, toning down his views a little bit. When Walker became Captain America, he asked that the Bucks, the BUCs, continue to work with him. The pasts of the other 2 bold urban commandos, however, meant they were not deemed suitable to work for the government. As a result, only Hoskins was selected to serve alongside the new Captain America as Bucky. The 2 other Bucks became villains known as Left-Winger and Right-Winger. Or was that Right-Winger and Left-Winger? I'm not good at that. Soon after taking on the mantle, Hoskins was told that the term Bucky was demeaning to African Americans and was convinced to change his name to Battlestar. This coincided, at least as reported by comic book resources, with the real-life story of Dwayne McDuffie explaining this to Mark Grunwald. In Captain America number 341, Left-Winger and Right-Winger publicly revealed Walker's name. This led to the Watchdogs, a trio of villains who answered to Red Skull, to kill Johnny Walker's parents. Walker retaliated by killing most of the Watchdogs. The whole affair was bleak, but also kind of awesome. Walker captured Left-Winger and Right-Winger and used his torch sword to ignite explosives they were strapped to, leaving them horribly burnt and in comas. Eventually, there was a confrontation with Captain America, who was then calling himself simply the Captain. Walker was stopped by Rogers, then the 2 confronted the Red Skull, who had been manipulating the Commission and control of the Captain America franchise. After a review of his brief time carrying the shield, Walker was deemed unworthy of the Captain America title due to his actions. You know, like the murdering, and murdering some more, then there was the maiming. Some days, nothing goes your way. After Steve Rogers returned to the role of Captain America, Battlestar went back to his hometown, the windy city of Chicago, Illinois. Next thing you know, Johnny Walker's death was faked by a member of the Commission, and he re-emerged as U.S. Agent. He wore a variation of the costume that Rogers had worn as the Captain and used his vibranium disc as a shield. With his new hero identity, Walker continued to work for the mysterious and politically motivated Commission. In order to put a dampener on his psychotic behavior, John was hypnotized so that he would believe his parents were still alive. He was first seen as U.S. Agent battling an ironmonger as a test for the Commission. Walker was additionally placed as a watchdog of Avengers West Coast and the Vision by the Commission, as a condition to possibly get their government clearance reinstated. Talk about a lose-lose scenario. He later rescued his former partner Battlestar from the power broker and reconciled with him. John learned that his memories had been altered and that his parents were dead. Battlestar later auditioned for Silver Sable to join her group, the Wild Pack. During his time with the Wild Pack, he had a romantic relationship with the Somali mutant known as Light Bright. Meanwhile, U.S. Agent investigated the killer, the Scourge of the Underworld. He discovered that Scourge is not an individual at all, but is in fact a franchise of killers trained towards the singular purpose of wiping out the world's various supervillains. A franchise of killers must be different than a franchise killer. U.S. Agent attempted to infiltrate the organization, but was captured, tortured, and interrogated until he was released by a masked operative, who revealed himself to be none other than Mike Walker, U.S. Agent's older brother who he had long thought died in the Vietnam War. Mike tried to convince U.S. Agent to join the Scourge program before letting him go in order to think it over. It soon revealed that this so-called Mike is not U.S. Agent's brother at all, but rather a cleverly disguised deception by Bloodstain intended to lure U.S. Agent into joining the Scourge. When the West Coast Avengers dissolved, U.S. Agent tossed his costume and shield into the Hudson River. Soon after, Tony Stark formed a new team known as ForceWorks. Walker was initially reluctant to join, but Scarlet Witch persuaded him. Whether right or wrong, she believed John was the team's backbone. U.S. Agent intended to run the team on tight military lines, prioritizing the values of strength and dedication. John ultimately joined the team, wearing a new costume and using an energy shield designed by Tony Stark. Working for his old commission ties led him into conflict with other heroes. Walker seemed to have finally cut ties with him after one mission put him into conflict with War Machine and Hawkeye. John eventually became the field leader of the Jury, a group of armored corporate vigilantes owned by Edwin Cord. U.S. Agent again wore his original U.S. Agent uniform and used an eagle-shaped shield that could be directed in mid-air via remote control. The Jury's job was to take down the Thunderbolts, but they were defeated. As a bit of a redemption, later, the Jury and the Thunderbolts teamed up to take down Brute Force. No, not that Brute Force, the other one, the one that was working with Secret Empire. U.S. Agent was later severely beaten near to death by Protocide. Due to emergency medical procedures performed on him, he was outfitted by S.H.I.E.L.D. with an enhancing exoskeleton. Walker next appeared in Texas, working on behalf of the U.S. government as the leader of STARS, Superhuman Tactical Activities Response Squad. Yeah, that's not Judge Dredd. Nope, not Judge Dredd at all. The team was sent to arrest Piledriver for attempting to escape to Mexico and posing as an international representative of U.S. interests. Next up, Walker acted as the leading figure on behalf of the U.S. government in their cooperation effort with the Avengers. As a surprise to absolutely no one, he was greatly disliked due to his abrasive behavior and domineering personality. But Walker and his team did help the Avengers defeat the invading Kree led by Ronan the Accuser. Once the dust settled, the Avengers tried to thank Walker, but he first rebuffed, then rebuked the squad for letting the alien threat be drawn to Earth in the first place. Walker joined the new Invader Squad, acting as its Captain America. In fact, he demanded to be called Captain America. But those invaders who knew the real Cap refused to do so. Walker claimed that today's world, meaning the 90s or early 2000s, requires a tougher symbol of America to battle terrorism. But when the original Human Torch, Jim Hammond, was killed, most of the team disbanded. During the original Marvel Civil War, U.S. Agent favored the Superhero Registration Act and chose the side of the government. He was assigned to Canada as an official liaison and reluctant leader of Omega Flight. Battlestar came down on the opposite side of the issue when he joined the anti-registration side. This put the former partners at odds, and I'm not certain that they've reunited since. Both Johnny Walker and Lamar Hoskins appear in the Disney Plus streaming series The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, with Lamar Hoskins portrayed by Canadian actor Clay Bennett and John Walker by former University of Alabama Huntsville hockey player Wyatt Russell. Only time will tell if the pair have a story that lasts as long in the MCU as it has in the comics, but I'm into it and definitely staying on the U.S. Agent and Battlestar ride as long as it lasts. How do you feel about U.S. Agent and Battlestar, either in the comics or in the TV show? Let me know down in the comments. Personally, I'd like to see U.S. Agent stick around as sort of a wild card character. Thanks for watching the video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. Be sure and subscribe so you get more material from comics and related media, as well as my Sunday ramblings about topically relevant movies and television. Be sure and hit the bell so you never miss an episode, and until next time, remember, heroes are super.